Crashes make you rich. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Assets go on sale. And if you look at history, assets continue to climb over time. It's time to go shopping. No different from Black Friday or when Target or Walmart is having a sale. You don't hear anybody complaining. Lines are wrapped around the block. So why is it once they say that we're in a market crash or headed towards a market crash, people think that that means panic? No, it's time to grab that shopping cart. Good companies, good assets are on sale. Now, if you don't take anything else from this video, take that. When they say that we're in a crash, headed towards a crash, you need to be thinking it's time to go shopping. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about, are we in a market crash? Are we headed towards a market crash? And what to do in a market crash. And I want to start off with this famous quote by Warren Buffett. He says to be fearful when others are greedy and to be greedy when others are fearful. Basically, that means when everybody's out here paying top dollar for these assets because they have that FOMO, that fear of missing out, that's when you need to sit back and be kind of fearful because it's probably going to go down. But when prices are going down and everybody's panicking, selling everything, that's when you need to be greedy and scoop those things up. And I'm going to show you in some of these charts how when prices crash, ultimately over a long period of time, that was the best time to buy some of these assets. If it's your first time to this channel, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. So what are the main reasons that people say that we're in a market crash or we're due for a market crash? They say that valuations are too high. True. Now, one way to measure is valuations are high. You can use the Shiller PE ratio. And the Shiller PE ratio takes historic PE ratios, current PE ratios, and inflation-based ratio and divides all that and it gets this formula. So shout out to Shiller. Now, the median for the Shiller PE ratio is normally around 17. Now, we're going to look at times when it got high, what happened, and where we are currently today. So, one of the first biggest crashes that we have to acknowledge was the 1929 crash. And the Shiller PE ratio got to 31.48, which is almost double the 17 median. And what did it do? It tanked. Now, the next crash besides COVID that we have to acknowledge is the 2019-99 dot-com boom bust. And it was 43.21. And what happened? It tanked. So right now we're sitting at 40.32. We're higher than the 1929 crash, and we're just about as high as the .com crash. So almost 3 times the 17 median. The second thing that people always love to discuss is that the cycle is over. And what they're talking about is the global liquidity cycle by Michael Howell. And Michael Howell figured out that ever since the 2008 financial crisis, that markets no longer move just off of interest rates, or interest rates don't play a big factor like they used to because they have cut rates, raise rates, and stocks, assets continue to climb higher. It made sense back in the day. If they're going to raise rates, won't you just go get 7% on a bond instead of taking the risk of owning stocks? But we no longer move like that. The market is based off liquidity. So in this global liquidity cycle, it's a debt refinancing cycle. And when companies, governments have to refinance debt, they need that capital. So they take money out the market, hence the name liquidity. They need to get that money, and markets are buying and selling. So if you're doing a whole bunch of selling, markets are going to drop. So the global liquidity cycle is a 4 to 5 year debt refinancing cycle, and he's laid out that framework for us. The red line is the 65-month cycle, and the black line is the actual real time what's happening with global liquidity. So if we are on this cycle, 2026, we should be in a down year. It should have peaked early 2026, 2025. Now, some assets are late cycle and some assets are early cycle. Some are leading indicators like Bitcoin. It already had its top at 126,000, and since then it has been on a downtrend. Now, this is not the end all be all, but just like the Shiller PE ratio, it is something to give us framework, to kind of set the table. Also, if you don't know what PE ratios is, PE ratio is the price you pay for a company's earnings. So right now, people are paying $40 to make $1 of a company's earning. And let's get back into this. So that's our cycle that we're currently in. The last cycle peaked in 2021 and it bottomed out in 2022. The cycle before that was 2017, 2018, and it bottomed out in 2018. So this is the cycle that they're talking about. So technically, we should be in a down year. This is the year that you want to accumulate assets as they go on sale. Now, the third thing that people use is the S&P 500 to kind of just get the health of the general overall market. If we're on course for a crash by looking at the S&P 500 is to look at the historical data of the month of January and the returns on the S&P 500. So typically, if it's a good year, the S&P finished January with a 1% return. We are currently under 1% at around like 0.84. Now, if it has 1% or more in January, then you will get the average return of 15 to 17% of the S&P 500. Now, if the return of January is negative, then that typically shows us that we're going to have a down year, 2% to 3% return on the S&P. So let's go take a look at the S&P 500. So currently we closed today at 69.17. And let me get this out the way. The market looks like it is consolidating. It's making a bull flag pattern. It's bullish for the short term. Long term, we'll have to see. I'm not one of those guys to claim I know where it's going and it's going to go here this day. No, I just let the charts tell me what's going on. It looks like the market is consolidating today. Um, it's not peaked yet. It looks like maybe we're close to a peak. We'll see. But it didn't peak in 2025. It is higher. Now let's just go to the previous cycle, 2021, and let's just see why crashes are the best time to buy. Somewhere around here is when it bottomed. And that was a 26% decline, about a $1,200 difference on the S&P. And since then, it has ran all the way up to almost $7,000. So you could have got it at a 26% discount. Now let's go to something that I just previously had up, like Tesla, and let's see what it did the last cycle. And currently what's going on with Tesla. So move this down. Let's go over to today. See where we're at. So currently, get this out the way. I need to charge my computer. So currently, Tesla is doing the same thing as the overall market. It is consolidating. Bull flag, maybe headed towards the downside. Maybe in a market crash, maybe a good time to buy Tesla. And ultimately, it's the price that you pay for it. Maybe somebody likes McDonald's at what the price it is, and somebody's like, "Nah, McDonald's got too high for me." So basically, you find a good price that you're willing to pay for an asset, jump in on it. Now let's just measure the last cycle with Tesla. So it topped. This one was late. Same thing, January 2022, and it bottomed out February 2023, and that is 71% decline, $270. So you could have got Tesla $270 cheaper than it was before that at around $109, and it is currently sitting at 421 dollars. That's a great return on your investment. So ultimately, what do you do in a crash? You don't sit around waiting for a crash because these markets can keep going. So you have cash designated for things that you want to buy. And typically around this time, people go into safe haven assets that produce cash flow like bonds. I'm not saying that's what you should do or not saying that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pretty much be looking at companies like this to go ahead and scoop up while everybody's panicking that the market is crashing. So yeah, you can buy bonds. You can get into defense companies, big companies, companies that pay great dividends to keep earning compound interest as the market plays itself out. So I'm on a 30-day challenge to make a video every day. This is day 2. If you like this video, subscribe. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, go check out the series, The Game of Money. I put together a playlist for y'all, and that'll get you started on your investing journey. Thank you.